Okay. So first thing, you need to check whether the license type of score A is installed in the system or not. So to check the license type, you need to go to Systems tab. Okay. Once you logged in, there is a System tab. To edit. Yeah. In Systems, you need to go to Status. No, Ganesh, it's taking long time than expected. Go to Status. Here, as I told you, the component version should be NetBear 7.2 or higher, right? So you just check the component version. This is ECC 6.0. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you can see here, this is the server name. It is Windows NT operating system. They are using system. On top of that, they have installed NetBear 7.3 version.
Yeah. But
Okay,
this is ECC system, right? Yes.
This is 0 version. The version of the system is ECC 6.0, but it's in NetBear version. NetBear copy of ECC version. So that means you can use it as normal ECC system as well as the NetBear system. Both the purpose you can use this. Normally it should not be like this. This is a training system. What they are doing, like this is a training system, right? So they want to. They will be taking trainings for SAP security area as well as GRC area. So if you want to take trainings for SAP security area, you should have ECC 6.0 in place, because in NetBear 7.2 you will not be having all the transactions. Okay, NetBear is not for business. NetBear is a platform where you can install the where you can configure the other servers on top of it. It's like just an operating system. But ECC 6.0, it's a business suite. So we need to have that for security related things. Since this is since we are giving trainings, we will not be having any master data, or will not be having much functional data in the system. What we did was we have implemented this NetBear patches in the same system, ECC 6.0. Okay.
So there will be no separate GRC system. In the same system, the GRC component has been installed.
This is a training system, Bhaskar. This is a training system, so that's why we have configured all GRC, NetBear, and ECC components in the same system. But in real time, it will not be like this. That's what I was telling you. In real time, you should have a separate GRC system, which is of NetBear 7.2 or higher version. On top of it, you need to install the GRC license patch.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because these guys will not pay license for all the systems for training.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's why we have only common system, only one system for all the activities. They have created different clients. For GRC, they are using 200 client. For SAP R3 security, they are using other client. BI is also in this. So for BI, they'll use other client. That's it.
Okay, got it.
Because we just need to have hands-on, because that's really not a task whether it's implemented in NetBear or whether it's implemented in ECC 6.0. It's not a task at all. So that's why these guys are not worried about it. Since I have explained you all those things, you are getting this doubt.
Okay.
But it's okay. In real time, in real time, you will have a separate system for GRC. It will not be mixed with security or any other things. You will be having a separate system. Okay, so that's fine.
Yeah.
And you need to check that whether this GRC license type is installed in the system or not. So if you click on that button, it will be routed to the screen. Here you can see there is a license type called GRC FND_A. Okay, so this GRC FND_A is the license type. Once you configure this, you will be able to work with access control, process control, and risk management in the system. Someone has joined here in between. Okay, Malini.
Hi, Krishna.
Hi, Malini. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm a bit better now.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been really long time. Yeah, I'm sorry for that because I moved to Germany. So I was finding my apartment and all. I was very busy with those tasks, so that's why I couldn't
Yeah.
able to take the classes.
Okay.
So see, we are still in the post configurations of GRC, but it will be useful for you because it will be a recap session for you. So
Yes.
join in the same sessions. So by tomorrow we can complete the post of access control
Okay.
also. Then from the next
Um,
week onwards, it will be a new topic for you. But as of now, you just join the sessions and listen the topics again.
sure.
No problem for you, right?
No problem. It's a recap
Yeah,
for me.
that's what I thought, and I requested Pavitra to call you.
Yeah, she said me.
Okay, that's fine then. So yeah, this is the license type GRC FND underscore A. So once we have configured this GRC FND underscore A license type in any of the application, that application you can use it as a GRC system. Without this license type, it will not be useful for GRC configurations. You should have this component in place. So you need to check this first. As a first step, you need to check whether the GRC FND underscore A is installed in the system or not. If it is not there, then you need to request basis guys to implement this particular license type in the system. So this is one license type, and here you have another component that is GRC PINW, SAP GRC NetPR plugin, right? You can see this, right? So this GRC PI NetPR plugin component, okay, you need to install this component in each and every backend system, in all the backend system, guys. Like if you want to connect your ECC system, BI system, SRM system, CRM system, and portal systems and non-SAP systems to GRC system, then the first thing what you have to do is you have to install this GRC PINW GRC plugin. Okay, this plugin should be installed in all the other systems, and it should be installed in GRC system also, because for there is a concept called emergency access management and risk analysis and remediation. That means access risk analysis. So when you are working with these tools, what will happen, like GRC system will connect with the backend system and it will fetch the data. So GRC system should understand like what kind of data is available in that system and what kind of data it should fetch from the backend system to GRC system. So if you don't install this GRC plugin in the backend system, it's really not possible to connect that system to GRC system. Okay, so you should install this plugin. Then in the network, if you do configurations of RFC and all, GRC will easily understand that, okay, now we have to fetch this kind of data from the system. Because there are some GRC specific tables should be present in the backend systems also. Because R3 will be having a separate tables and GRC system will have separate tables. So these, if you want to have these kind of GRC tables to be present in the backend system, you need to install this plugin. Jagyan, Bhaskar, Ganesh, is it clear or any doubts on the plugin topic?
I have a doubt.
Yeah.
The plugin need to be installed in all the system, including the GRC also.
Yes, including the GRC also.
Oh.
Yeah, including the GRC also, but it will be done by the basis guys. You need to check these two, whether this particular plugin is installed in the system or not.
And this FND, GRC FND underscore component will be there only in GRC system, right?
Yeah, correct. GRC FND underscore A will be there only in GRC system, but when it comes to plugin, this will be there in the backend system also. Okay, see the main advantage of this plugin, I mean, see, for when you are performing this access control, when you are working with access control, it's really not useful. I mean, if the plugin is not there in the backend systems, you can do your configurations and all. But if you want to work with process control, Okay, because every system will have different processes, guys. Like SRM system will follow some processes, and CRM system will have some processes, and NAV3 system will have different processes. And the transactions and the workflows, everything is different from system to system. And BI system will have different reports and all. So if you want to work with process control, in that case, this is must. This GRC PINW is must to install in every system. But if you want to work only with access control, then it should be there for a safer side, but it's not really needed for to install this in all the systems. Okay, but this is must when you want to work with process control. So better side, what SAP is suggesting, that whether you are using it for process control or access control or risk management, if you are installing a patch called GRC FND_A in your system, better install the GRC PINW in all the backend system as well as in GRC system. Okay, so this is the first step you have to check now. So once after we have finished this, the second step is checking the client copy logs. To check the client copy logs, as I told you, we have a transaction called SCC3. Note down this thing step by step. Okay, don't expect material from me. First, you note down each and everything. So execute SCC3 transaction. So once you've executed SCC3 transaction, you'll be routed to the screen. So here you can check the date, time, source client, and status text, profile, and mode. So date, I don't need to explain that, and time, it's not required. And source client, as I told you, all the standard data will be available in the default clients. So you need to copy the data to the customizing client. So standard clients, what are the 3 standard clients we have? We have 000, 001s. Normally data will be copied from the 000, but you can do it from 001 also. 001 and 000 will have the same information, guys. Okay, but the super user will be different from one client to other client, because in 000 the super user is SAP staff. When it comes to 001, the super user is DDIC. Okay, so but both the clients will have the same data, same standard data. So either you can copy it from 001 or you can copy it from 000. So this is a source client and the target client is 200. So this is source client and this is target client. And the next one is, you can see the status. Status is successfully completed. Okay, always it should be like that. If you are checking it the first time, it should be like this: successfully completed. Then only all the standard data will be available in the system. So profile, you guys have already maybe you have default profiles in the system. This default profiles will contain the data of the standard. I mean, the standard data will be available in the default profiles. So we have different default profiles. SAP all is there, SAP_cust is there, SAP_user master data is there. Like that, we have different profiles, around 7 to 8 default profiles we have. So if you copy SAP_all, what will happen? Like, it will copy all the data, like user data, role data, master data, tables, all the information. All the information that is available in the standard data, it will be copied. But if you do SAP_cust profile, that is called SAP_cust. If you use this profile, what will happen? Like, it will copy only the customizing data. Customizing data means whatever the things you have, like if you create any user, that is a customizing data. If you create any role, that is a customizing data. If you create any transaction, that's a customizing data. If you create any table, that's a customizing data. Programs, reports, and all this, if you create it, then that's a customizing data. So if by default available in the system, then that's a default data. So if you want to have only customizing data in GRC system, GRC new client, then you have to do it by using profile SAP_cust. But now don't use that, because we need to have all the default data. So that's why I always use SAP_all. Okay, and mode. We have 2 types of client copies, right? The first one is local client copy, and the second one is a remote client copy. Since we are copying it from one client to other client in the same system, so we are using the local client copy mode. So to perform the local client copy, we have a transaction, and to perform the remote client copies, we have another transaction. Hope you guys know about that. So any doubts in this step?
No.
No, right?
No.
Okay, then we'll go back. What's happening? Okay, and the next one is to activate the application in the client. Node on activate application in the client. So to activate the application in the client, we'll use transaction SPRO. Okay, go to SPRO transaction and click on SAP reference IMG. See, we have so many different folders. In this, you need to find governance, risk and compliancy folder. So here, if you can see guys, you have one folder called governance, risk and compliancy plugin. Okay, this folder came up here only because you have implemented the plugin application in this client. That's why this folder came up here. And you have configured GRC FND underscore A license type in the system. So that's why you got this folder in SPRO. Otherwise, normally if you log into normal R3 system, you will not find these two folders there, like governance risk and compliance folder and governance risk and compliance normal folder. You will not find these two folders in normal SAP R3 system. Once after you have configured those, install those plugins and license types, then only these things will be available in SPRO. So now we are activating the application, right? So expand this governance risk and compliance. So in governance risk and compliance, again, you will have a lot of folders. This is general settings for all process control, access control, and risk management. Share master data settings is also, this folder is also common for all the three tools, and reporting common component settings. These four folders are common for all these three tools like access control, process control, and risk management. But there are some standard settings for access control and process control and risk management. So those steps will be available in each and every folder of the particular tool. So now we have to decide which tool we want to use in GRC. It will be to activate access control in the system. Just expand general settings. Okay. So once you expanded it, you can see the first step, activating application in client. Execute this. Here, okay, this is already activated, but normally it will not be like this. One minute, guys. I'll just remove that. Sorry. To click here. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So once you Click on execute button, you will come to this screen. Okay, there'll be no elements to it. You need to click on new entries button. Let ask for a transfer request is there. Okay, it will be like this. So you need to click on new entries. Here you need to select the application type. Select the application type as access control. Activate it. Click on save. It will ask for a transport request, workbench transport request. Just give the workbench transport request. So that way it's not asking. So its GRC access control is now activated in the system. Okay, this is the third step you have to do. You need to activate the application. If you want to use GRC system as a process control, as I told you, just click on new entries and select process control, activate and save. That's it. Okay. No doubts here, right? It's very easy step. And now the fourth step is activating ICF services. So what is the use of to activate the ICF services? As I told you, GRC will have two things, the backend and the front end. So you can access the data from the backend system as well as the front end system. Whatever you want, you can do that. So this front end and backend system always should be in sync. So because if you access some data in the front end system, the request will come to backend system and it will fetch the data, and it will be displayed in your front end system. So to have a continuous sync between front end and backend system, we need to enable the ICF services in the GRC system. So if you activate the ICF services, then only you will be able to work with front end system. Otherwise, front end system you will not be able to access any data through front end system. For example, now we'll access NWBC. Now we have not activated anything, but we'll check whether, because this is a training system, some other guys have already activated it. So we'll just deactivate and we'll see. Okay. So the transaction is SICF. So to activate the services, as I told you, first you need to go to SICF transaction. By default, you will get the service option here. Don't change it and click on execute button. It will take you to another screen. So in that screen, as I told you, you need to activate 3 folders. The first one is BC, public, and GRC. So these folders will be placed under default host tab. So expand these 3, expand default host. Here, yeah. Sorry.
I didn't got. Can you please come again? Why is it needed SICF and what is it attributed for?
Yeah, see, normally, as I told you, GRC has a front end, NWBC, Net Your Business Client. So you can access all the backend system data in the front end system, right? Normally, business users will not, business users should request their access or whatever they want to do with GRC system. They should log into the front end system, will not be giving access to a backend system for independent business users. You're not getting my point again. Normally, we should not give access to. So that's why they should log into front end and they should access the data. That's why there is a continuous communication between backend and front end system. If the sync is not data, they'll not be able to get it. So that's why we configure front end system properly. Front end system, we need to activate these ICF services. These ICF services work with front end system, NW.
So ICF full form?
ICF, it's Internet Configuration Forces, I think. I'm not 100% sure, but it's Internet Configuration Forces, as I know. This will help us to work with NWBC. See, if you want me to explain more on this, I'll take an example and I'll explain you. Actually, the main use of this ICF services is like not only front end. For example, you have around 10,000 users in your organization. So for these 10,000 users, you have around 10 security consultants in place. Normally, you know the business users, right? Business users will always forget their passwords, and the security consultant, they'll come to you and they'll ask for password resets. So what they will do, they will raise a request, and that request will come to you, and you will feel like, okay, this is just a password reset incident. There is no criticality in it. I'll do it in the evening before I'm leaving. But password is the critical thing. If they don't have password to log into the system, they'll not be able to do any productive work. They'll not be able to do anything, actually, not productive. They'll not be able to do anything. They'll not be able to log into the system itself. So whenever you get any password request, you should be, you should resolve as soon as you can. As soon as you can, in the sense, the first priority is that only. You should resolve that. But normally, will not do it. So business users used to wait for 2 days or 3 days to get their password, and there is a lot of products. So to avoid such situation, SAP has given one format like self password reset. It's a self password reset tool they have implemented. So what is this self password reset tool? The self password reset will help business users to reset their own passwords in the system. Whatever system they want to present in that system, they can reset it. For that, what you have to do is they will provide one link. They will execute that link. It will be like your HTTP links only to every business users. They will execute that link. Once they have executed that link, in that particular page, you can see all the SAP systems in your organization. All the SAP systems, like whatever development systems you have, whatever production, quality systems you have, everything will be placed in. So if you want to reset your password in development system, you will click on the development system and you will give your user ID. You will give your user ID there. If you click on next, what will happen, like it will check your user ID whether this particular user ID is available in the backend system or not. In that part to reset your password in development system, a request will go to development system and it will check whether this particular user ID is present in the backend system or not. If the user ID is present in the backend system, there is a user, backend user. Okay, normally we'll create one backend user. This backend user will reset the password of your account, because password reset is a dialog activity, right? Because you cannot do it in the backend. You have to log into the system, then only you'll be able to reset the passwords. So this user, whatever I'm saying, that user will log into the So to complete all this kind of configurations are like this, like it will communicate with backend system and it will reset the password, then it will communicate the password to you. To perform this kind of activities in the system, this ICF services will help. In ICF services, we normally maintain which user ID will be logging into the backend system to check whether this particular user ID is present in the system or not, and which user password of this user, and which user ID will communicate the password to business user. We will update all these details in ICF services. So what system will do? Whenever you are trying to reset your password, system will check in ICF services what kind of user ID is updated there, and which user ID I should use to reset the password, and which user ID I should use to communicate the password to business user. So these kind of settings will be there in ICF services. So like the same way, see, this is an example, like the same process will happen in your GRC also. So whenever any business user log into the front end system, he will access some data. Like he want to see all the users that are present in a development system. At that time, that request should go to the development system and it needs to fetch, it will fetch all the data in the development system and it will show up in your front end system. So how it is happening? It is happening only because of your ICF services. We'll be maintaining one user ID in ICF services. So that user will log into the backend system and it will fetch all the data and that data will be populated in your front end screen. So that is automated thing. You don't need to log into your backend system to check the data. You can check data from the your GRC system itself. So these kind of settings will be enabled only after you have only after you configure these ICF services. So I tried to explain you something. Did you guys get it, or am I confused you a lot? Because this is a most happening thing in real time now, because most of the organizations are using a self-service, self password reset tools. So we are configuring these tools now. So that's why I thought it will help you. Watch again. You are silent, so you are confused.
No, not I understood. Yeah.
So yeah, Bhaskar and Ganesh, you guys already know about services, but okay. So in SAP, okay, according to SAP GRC documents, what GRC is suggesting that when you are activating the ICF services for GRC, you need to activate 3 folders. The first one is public folder, and the second one is BC folder, and the third one is GRC folder. So you need to activate these 3 folders to work with your front end. So first, this is the once you expand your default host folder, you will see another folder called SAP. In that you have this folder. The first one is public, and the second one is this one BC, and the third one is this one. This is GRC. So you need to activate these 3 folders. Then only you will be able to work with NWBC. So I will see whether this is activated or not. If you just select and right click, yeah, this service is already activated. Okay, if the service is already activated, then you can work with NWBC. But I want to show you if the service is not activated, what kind of error to show you that. So that's why I'm just deactivating it as of now. We'll activate it again. Right click, and this is already activated, so I'll deactivate that service. Deactivate service. These are training systems now, so that's why we always has to check whether it is already activated or deactivated, all these things. If this is a fresh system, then we'll not be having any issues. We can do whatever we want. Okay, let me come back and see. What is the transaction? SICF. Execute it. Hope you guys are noting down these steps, okay? Execute, expand SAP. So now if you see, public is deactivated and BC is deactivated and GRC is deactivated. Okay, so Now we'll see whether NWBC is working fine or not. I'll try to access NWBC. It's not working. Why? Ganesh, can you just come back from the screen? Because I'm unable to do that.
Yeah. Even I'm not able to.
Even you are unable, na?
Yes.
Then just do one thing in the transaction glue /n NWBC.
Even I'm not able.
Even
Oh, no, it's a connection problem.
okay. Connect again.
Sorry.
Did you guys got access to GRC system? Bhaskar again. Did you guys got access to GRC system?
No, I have not received it. Let me
You
check
need to
my
check with
mail.
them.
Yeah. So now I have to. You have control, right?
Okay. I'll see. No, I don't have.
Then I have to give you. You are seeing my screen?
Yeah. Now it got disconnected. Yeah, now again I can see.
Okay.
Okay, it's okay, Ganesh. So what you will do, like, just execute NWBC transaction /n NWBC.
/n WBC.
NWBC. NWBC.
Yeah.
No, /n NWBC. Okay, here you just give NWBC. Yes. So normally to go to front end, yeah, it's an error, right? So if you can see the error message, you will get to know why I am saying we need to activate the ICF services. So the ICF path SAP BC NWBC is inactive. Please use transaction SICF to activate. So it's not allowing us to log into front end itself. If you're not activating the ICF services in the system, you will get this kind of errors. Getting it? So now you just note down the path. The path is /SAP/BC/NWBC. You need to activate that in SICF transaction. So just activate that, Ganesh, in the same path. Go to SICF transaction /n SICF.
Okay. /n SICF.
Yeah. Okay, here execute.
Default.
And expand default host. SAP.
Public.
BC. No, it's BC. It's shown as BC, right? Yeah, expand that. So find NWBC there. You have NWBC. Yes, you have it, right?
Yeah.
NWBC. Yeah, select that, right click. That is what you got the error, right? It is saying just to activate NWBC folder. So activate service, click on activate service.
Second S.
Yes, second S. Yeah. Okay, now we have activated the NWBC folder as suggested by the error message. So you just come back again and execute NWBC now. No. This is the screen. Ask me later. Okay.
Okay. Sorry.
It's okay. You just close this window. It's already there. No, this window only. This current tab.
Oh, that message will
Okay,
come
it's
in
fine.
Explorer itself?
Yeah, that message will come in Explorer.
Okay.
That is the front end. Explorer is the front end.
Yeah. Okay.
So here you can see, guys, what has happened. What has happened? It is trying to connect to NW73 BIPC some link. It is connected to some link, and call was terminated because the corresponding service is not available. The service is not available, it is saying. So what can I do? Okay, just see that. What can I do? Please select a valid URL. If it is a valid URL, check this service whether service SAP/public/MISSEONTL is activated in transaction SICF, right?
Yeah.
So the system itself, it is saying where to go and what to activate. Okay, so now go to backend system and activate this service. Jagyan, you are getting that? Bhaskar, Malini?
Yeah, I'm good. Yes.
This one.
Check it. Yeah, very good. That one only. Activate it. So now come back and execute NWBC.
Can I do here only n/n? Or,
Yeah, very good. Slash and NWBC you can do.
yeah.
You're not getting error, right? So now you are able to see something in the screen like launch NetVia business client, cockpit NWBC. Just click there, NWBC. So here if you can see that, yeah, now you will be able to see the screen, business client screen.
Okay.
Ganesh, drag the screen to your right hand side. No, I want to see both the screens. I want to explain something here.
Yeah. Now.
So guys, yeah, now it is better. Thank you. So see guys, here, this is your backend system. SAP Easy Access is your backend system. And the one which is an Internet Explorer, that is your front end system. Okay, so you can work with backend system or you can work with front end system, because here you can see the work sets. These above ones, Office, cross application components, logistics, accounting, human resources, and all these things, these we call them as work sets. Okay, these all are work sets. So the same folders you can see in your backend also here. In SAP Easy Access screen, in SAP menu, you can see Office, cross application components, logistics, information systems, tools, and all these things. You can see this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So these things are folders in backend systems, and in the front end we call them as work sets. So NWBC will help us to execute the transactions also. If you want to execute one transaction, you can execute that in the front end itself. I mean, that's what I was saying you. If that is a Java system, it will not allow you to execute any transactions. This is NWBC. This is a new program that has been developed by SAP system. Sorry, SAP. This is a new program language that has been developed by SAP. So it will allow you to execute transactions in the front end also. In Internet Explorer, you can execute the transactions. That's really a beautiful thing, right? Because you don't need to give access to any user in the backend system. You don't need to create him in the backend system. You can directly provide access in the front end system. So what the user need to do, user just need to execute this link. If he has internet connection, you just need to execute that link, http://nw73bipc. There is some link, right? So you just need to execute that. It will ask for a user ID and password. Once you give the user ID and password, he'll be able to see his SAP Easy Access menu screen. But it's something different. It's not like backend. The look and feel is also very good, right? If you compare with the backend system, the look and feel of the front end system is good. You can see everything in the folders, all the data in folders. So this is what the NWBC. So you can do configurations from the NWBC also. So if you want to develop any program in the front end, you can do that because NWBC is SAP's own language. It is also present in backend. So if you want to do any development, now you are getting what is NWBC. Hope you're still not clear. Okay. On the later classes, you will be getting to know that. Okay, close this window, Ganesh. So now, after activating these two services, now we'll be able to see NWBC. This is just your backend system. This is not the GRC screen, guys. This is your backend screen. To see the GRC screen itself, okay, this is not the GRC screen. This is just a backend screen. That's it. So if you want to see the GRC screen, what SAP is suggesting that you need to activate all the three folders, that is GRC, BC and public. Once you activated these three folders in SICF, you will not face any issues. Normally, if you want to see the screens, these two things that we have activated now are enough. You can see the screen. But in future, if you want to work without issues, then SAP is suggesting that you need to activate all the data which is there in BC folder, GRC folder and public folder. So activate those three folders now. Go to SICF. Expand SAP, yeah, activate public. Select public folder. Yeah, just deactivate it first because you have activated one service in it. So that's why it's saying it's already activated. Just deactivate it, come back from the screen. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, now activate service, yes. Yeah, like the same way for other folders, BC. Yeah. Very good. And next GRC. You just need to remember one thing, like activating ICF services and nothing but you need to activate three folders. The first one is GRC, the second one is public and the third one is BC. Okay, the use I have explained you. What is the use of activating these three services? If you are not activating these services, you will not be able to work in the front end system.
It is done.
With NWBC if you want to. Okay, very good. So now it's clear, right? The third step.
Yeah.
Guys, you have to speak out. You have to ask me doubts. If you're not understanding the initial steps, you'll not be getting anything. If you go ahead, you'll not be getting anything. So if you have any doubts, ask me right away.
Yeah,
You are clear, right, Jagyan?
no, I have a question.
Oh, you have a question, yeah.
So, after the thing is, in my project, when I open the GRC window, it shows some other work centers like access management or
Yes. That's what I was telling you. This is not the GRC screen. This is the SCT backend screen. That's what I was telling you, right? When I'm explaining the SCF services, the screen that you are seeing in the Internet Explorer, that is not the exact GRC screen. If you want to see the exact GRC screen, you should be assigned with the GRC roles in the backend system. There are some GRC roles. We have not assigned any GRC roles to my ID. So that's why when I am logging into the system, when I am logging into the front end, I'm not able to see any GRC folder there. So if you want to see GRC folders, In the backend system, that means this system, the current system, ABAP system, you need to have, you need to be assigned with GRC roles. There are separate GRC roles created. So you need to have those roles in place. Then only you'll be able to see the GRC folders. Like as you said, setup button, access management, and reports and analytics. These are the folders.
Basically, whatever rules we have, it will be displayed in this separate text.
Correct. Yes, that's true. Whatever roles you have in the backend system, you can see that in the front end system. So it's completely, in the backend system, if you assign some role, you can see that in the front end. Once you click on that role, you can do whatever tasks that are assigned to that role. Whatever transactions that are present in that role, you can do that activities in the front end.
So can we create a, suppose I have been assigned a PFCG T code. So can we execute the same thing in front end also?
That's what I was telling you. You can create users in the front end. You can create roles in the front end. You can delete the users. You can reset password. Whatever transactions present in the backend system, in your account, in your user master data. Okay, in your user master data, whatever roles map to you, you can do all the activities in front end also now. If you are assigned with GRC roles, then you will be able to perform the GRC activities. We are now in a position that we are just activating the front-end services. So the next position is we need to assign GRC roles to the user master data. Then you will be able to see the GRC roles in front-end. Very good question. So guys, you need to understand that whatever roles that are assigned to you in the backend system, okay, that particular things will be available in your NWBC screen. Like if you are assigned with PFCC authorizations, you will be able to do PFCC activities only in the front end. It will not allow you to do other activities. So if you want to perform GRC stuff in the front end, you need to have the GRC roles assigned in place. Getting that? Very good question again. Hope this is clear now. So we'll move ahead and we'll see the next step. What is the next step?
Activating services.
Activating BC sets. Yes. Okay. What is the use of BC sets? Bhaskar and Ganesh, you have to tell me because I have explained a lot yesterday. Or Malini. Malini also there. So Malini, you should talk a bit about BC sets.
Yeah, it's different kind of BC sets are available there. Like for Firefighter, for Dulbu, and for each and every component, GRC, AC related, there are BC sets we need to activate as per our requirement.
Very good, very good. So we have different types of BC sets. Those are business configuration sets. So what is the use of BC sets is nothing but, guys, like in ABAP system, we have the standard roles, right? Standard SAP roles and profiles. Like the same way for GRC, we'll be having some standard data. If you want to use that particular standard data, that data will be available in the form of BC set. So first, if you want to work with that, you need to activate it in the system. If you're not activating the BC set, it's not possible to use that particular standard data. So you should activate that. To activate the BC sets, this is very important thing. So at a stretch, you have to it's not required that you have to activate all the BC sets at a time. So you can activate whenever you want, but if you are implementing GRC at the first time in your landscape, I would suggest configure or activate all the BC sets at a time. Okay, in future, if you miss to activate one BC set, you will face a lot of issues, and you'll not be able to figure it out why I'm getting this error. Because in GRC system, to solve the issues, it's really difficult, guys, because you'll not be having SU53 screens and all to figure it out what is the missing authorization and all, because this is completely programming language. So I would suggest activate everything at the first time. Like when you are activating it, activate all the BC sets at a time. Okay, but you can do it at later times also, but it's better activating everything at the first place. So to activate the BC sets, we have a transaction that is SCPR20/N SCPR20. Okay, good. Execute that. So this is the screen you will get. So now you need to activate the BC sets only related to access control. So for that, yeah, click on that button, find, and all, as I told you, all access GRC access control related BC sets will start with GRAC. Okay, all process control related BC sets will start with GRPC. No space in between. All risk management will start with GRAM. So you have to give star GRAC star. Yeah, yeah, execute. So how many? 22 entries found. So you have total number of 22 BC sets for access control. So the standard data of access control is placed in 22 BC sets. So here all 22 BC sets are not important, guys. So BC sets are for different tools that are in access control. Like we have 4 tools in access control: access risk analysis, access request management, emergency access management, and business role management. So the first one is GRAC access request APPL mapping. So access request is nothing but it is for access request management. The BC set is for access request management. So the first 4 things, okay, which are like GRAC underscore access underscore request, GRAC underscore access underscore request priority, GRAC access request request type. Okay, these 4 are for access request management. So if you want to work with access request management, you need to have some default data available in the system. So that default data you will get only after activating these 4 standard BC sets. And the next one, GRAC RA rule set common. Okay, rule set. This rule set, RA rule set, these things will come on risk analysis and remediation. That means access risk analysis. So why we need rule sets? Rule set is nothing but all the combinations of transactions and authorization objects. Like, see, as I told you, GRC system will find all the risks that are with the user. Like, for example, it will check the SOD violations, right? SOD violations are nothing but this particular user should not have access to this particular transaction. This user should not have access to this particular activity. And this user is having access to critical transaction. This user is having access to critical permissions and all. So how system will identify that? So system will have some default rule books in place. So in this rule books, it will have some combinations like this transaction and this transaction should not be assigned to a single user. This is a rule we have created. I mean, SAP has provided. Like SU01 and PFCG should not be assigned to a single user. Like, and SU01, PFCG, and SM20 should not be assigned to a single user. And PFCG, SM19 and SM20 should not be assigned to a single user. So these are the rules that are defined by the SAP system. Sorry, SAP. Defined by the SAP. So they have created these kind of rules for each and every process area, and they kept it all of the rules in one place. That particular place we call it as rule book. Okay, like for example, purchase request creator should not have purchase request approver access. That means the user who is having access to ME51N, he should not have access to ME52N. So ME51N and ME52N should not be assigned to a single user. So this is a rule. This rule will be updated in rule book. So GRC, SAP GRC has given so many rules because we have around 1,20,000 transactions. So for these transactions, they have analyzed and they have created some rule books. So normally all the organizations will use this kind of rule books. But some organizations, they will have some customizing transactions, and they will have some rules like one user in their organizations, security consultant. If you are a security consultant, you are authorized to perform user admin tasks and role admin tasks both. So in that case, you need to change the rule book. Like the default rule book will not allow you to perform both the tasks. In that case, you need to create a new rule book. So first, to create a new rule book, you should have the default one in place. So all these kind of different rules and permissions will be placed at a place. That particular place we call it as rule book. So if you want to use the standard rule book, this rule books will be created for every application, guys. We have different applications, right? We have SAP R3 application, we have SRM application, we have CRM application, we have BI application, we have HR application, and we have JD Edwards application, we have Oracle application, we have so many PeopleSoft application, APO application. Like that, we have different applications in place. For every application, SAP has defined a particular rule book. If you want to use that particular rule book, you need to activate the corresponding BC set, because BC set is nothing but the default data of that particular rule book. So if you want to use that particular rule book, you need to activate the corresponding BC set. So in your landscape, if you have R3 system, SRM system, CRM system, BI system, portal system, now you want to connect all these systems to your GRC system. So how many different types of systems you have? You have R3 system, you have SRM, you have CRM, you have portal, and you have other system like HR system. So HR system will have separate rules and separate transactions. SRM system will have a different transactions. APO system will have a different transaction. BI system will have separate rules and separate transactions. Like R3 system will have separate rules and transactions. So for every system, SAP has given one rule book. SRM rule book, CRM rule book, R3 rule book, HR rule book. So these rule books are placed in First, you need to analyze how many systems, how many different types of systems we have in our landscape. We have only R3 systems, or do we have any HR system in place, or do we have any SRM system, or do we have any other system? So you need to analyze this first. Once after you got the analysis report, then I mean like we have only R3 systems. If you have only R3 system, okay, then you need to activate the rule book of R3. That is GRAC RA request SAP R3. Can you select that, Ganesh?
Yeah.
Very good. That's the one. That is the one. GRAC RA rule set SAP R3. So this is the R3 rule set. All R3 related transaction rules and permissions, everything will be placed in this global rule set. And if you have APO system in place, then which rule set, which BC set you will be activating?
This one, right?
Yes, superb. Yes. So if you have Oracle, then the above one.
Right.
If you have JD Edwards, then the above one. Like that. You need to first find out how many systems we have, how many different types of systems you have. So see, this is the advantage of GRC. They have created rule books for JD Edwards. Select one by one, Ganesh. They have created rule books for first JD Edwards. And then they have created rule books for Oracle. Then they have created rule books for PeopleSoft. They have created rule books for APO. They have created rule books for only basis. They have created rule books for CRM. They have created rule books for ECCS. They have created HR rule sets. And the next one is an interesting one. SAP R3 less HR basics. That means if you configure the above rule set like SAP HR, you will get only HR related rules and authorizations. But if you configure this to the second one, BC set for access control rules for SAP R3 less HR basics, in this you will get only R3. Because in some organizations, what will happen like HR system and R3 system both are same. In the same R3 system, they will implement the HR patch. Okay, they will use SAP R3 and HR in the same system. Likewise, we are using SAP R3 and GRC in the same system, right? Like the same way, they will use SAP R3 and HR in the same system. But some organizations will have R3 separate system and HR separate system. So in that case, okay, you need to configure both the BC sets. You need to activate both the BC sets, HR and R3 release, R3 less HR. The above two, SAP HR and SAP R3 HR. If you configure SAP HR, you will get only HR related rule books. And if you activate the NHR one, then you will not get HR stuff, only R3 related. The next one is SAP R3. So if you activate this SAP R3, what will happen, like you will get both HR and non-HR data also. So most of the organizations will have this kind of practice. They will have HR also in the same R3 system. So they will, most of the times they'll install this SAP R3. But you will be having separate HR system also for some of the organizations. So in that case, you need to activate that SAP HR in that particular system. And if you have SRM system, then you need to activate the SAP SRM rule set. So we have different rule sets. This is only for
Access.
risk analysis and remediation, access risk analysis tool. So these many. So you no need to activate all the rule sets, guys, here, because now we have only R3, right? We have only R3 system. We are not connecting it to BI, or we are not connecting to any other system. But in real time, you will be doing that. But since this is a training system, we have only R3 system. So you just need to activate SAP, GRAC RA rules. Very good, very good. That one, SAP R3 rule set. Getting this point again, and Ganesh?
What is the difference between R3 and ECCS?
Mm-hmm.
I guess both are same.
No.
What is it?
ECCS is a different system. It is not a R3 system. This is like employee customer care service something. There is a system called ECCS SAP for that system. This is all, they will only manage the employees there, like employees information. This is not an business data. No business data will be available in that system. That's a separate system. See, they have given a lot of options, but most of the, I have worked with so many clients. I've never seen this. I have seen one client which is having SAP ECCS system, but most of the clients, they are using their employees' data in third-party tools, not even HR system, and not even SAP HR. They are using third-party tools. Okay, so hope these first 2 points are clear. First two tools like SAP Access Request Management and Access Risk Analysis. So you no need to configure all the risk analysis rule books here. Only you need to configure R3 one here in our training system. But in real time, you need to analyze that first, how many different types of systems we have, and you need to activate all the rule sets. And the third one, if you come to that part, that is role management. So role management is nothing but where role management will happen? Business role management tool. So if you want to work with the business role management, the default available formats and the default workflows and the default roles, roles are nothing but default rules. These data will be available in the first one, BC set for business role landscape, and the next one. There are there are 5 separate types of rule books. So if you want to work with business role management, you need to activate all of them, all the 5. Okay, all the 5 bases that should be activated. And the last one is SPM. SPM is nothing but super user privileged management. That is nothing but emergency access management. If you want to work with firefighter things and all, the last rule book should be activated. And so the basic settings will be available here. Okay. So how many BC sets we have for access control? Total number 22 entries. But in this, whatever tools you are going to use with your GRC access control, you need to activate all of them. Like if some organizations will use only access request management and access risk analysis. So in that case, the first 4, and you need to decide which rule book you have to activate. If you have different rule books, then you need to activate all of them. So what I would suggest you to do now is, I'll just tell you how to activate for SAP R3. So one of you take the responsibility and activate all access request and BRM related and SPM related rule books. I am doing it for access risk analysis. So the remaining 3 tools rule books, you need to activate it. By tomorrow, you have to activate that.
Okay.
So who will do this activity? I want all the rule books to be activated. Yeah. So now I am activating GRC RA rules at SAP R3, right? You just double click there, and there is an activate button. This last one. Yeah, before that. that is the activate BC set button. You just click there, select the BC set and click on that activate BC set button. So it will ask for a transport request. Transport request is already given, so you just click on OK. If the transport request is not there, no, OK, yeah. If the transport request is not there, then you can create it. But the transport request is already there. So now you will be routed to this screen, guys. So I have already explained to you about this screen. So we have expert mode and default mode. So can anyone tell me what is expert mode and default mode? Because Jagyan is not there yesterday.
Default mode is it won't carry the customized data, whereas the expert mode will get even the customized business rules.
Very good, very good. That's the exact point. So always select the expert mode when you are doing the BC set activation. Always select expert mode, and you just need to select OK. That's it.
We have to do one by one. So every
Yeah,
set?
yeah. Mass activity is not possible for BC sets. You need to do it one by one.
In export mode, it override all the data, right? So all
Sorry.
data. In export mode, it overrides all. If there is data exists, then it overrides all data. So
Yeah, it will override the data, but it will keep the existing data. But that's why we are selecting the expert mode. No, I mean the existing data you will not lose it. It will be there in the system.
okay. Generally, how long it takes to activate one?
You can see the process here. At the last, you can see the process. It will take some time because no, not with lock. Just come left hand side completely. Last left hand side. Come down, come down, come down. Down, 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 down.
That's
Yeah, there you can see the clock, right?
Yeah.
That's the clock. So you can see the process there. This is R3 rulebook, right? So R3 is having lot of transaction combinations. So once you have activated it, what actually will happen like the default data will be updated in tables, GRC tables. Now what is happening in the backend? You have a particular file. You are uploading that file to your tables. So if you are creating a file for GRC R3, you need to, I mean, it will be like very big file because you have 120 transactions in SAP R3 system, and you need to do combinations of that, like which transaction will give violation and all, right? So that's a very big file. So now what we are doing by activating the BC set is nothing but we are copying this particular file data into tables.
okay.
So that's why it's now copying the data to the BC set tables. I will tell you what are the BC set tables and all. So for R3 only it will take some time, but for other landscapes it will not take much time. It will be finished just like that. Okay, so this is how we normally activate the BC sets. So the next one is, it's very easy step. The next one is creating a user and assigning the standard roles. So to assign the standard roles, I mean standard roles in the sense to assign the roles to a particular user, the first thing we need to activate the GRC roles, right? GRC, whenever you see any GRC standard data, it will always be in deactivated status. I mean like it's deactivated status in the sense it will not be generated. So the standard roles you should generate to use it. So first we'll generate the roles, then we'll create a user. That user ID will be using for the remaining configurations. Ganesh, create a new screen here.
I'll open another session, right?
You can do it like, no. Yeah, open another session. You just click on that activation option is there, right? In the activation option, next to that, you have a small button. Yeah, there only. activation options. No, in the small screen,
Okay.
you have activation option on top of it. The heading of the screen is activation
Yeah.
option, right? Next to that you have a small button. Yeah, click there, create session.
Oh, okay.
Okay, let the process run in the background. So we'll see the next step. The next step is generate the standard profiles. So go to SUIM transaction. So where will you find all the roles information? It's roles by complex selection criteria, right? So go to roles by complex selection criteria. Yeah, roles by complex selection criteria. Okay, and give now we need to find all GRC related roles. So first give star GRC star and execute. You will get all GRC roles. Yeah, execute. I suppose these roles are already activated by some of the other consultants who are practiced in the system. But normally you have to do this because it will not be in activated status. If that is a fresh GRC system, you need to generate all the roles, all standard GRC roles. Is anyone from Hyderabad here? I mean, like, who's staying in Hyderabad now? No, everyone is staying in Bangalore. Yeah, these are the number of roles. How many? 98 roles. So these are the GRC roles, guys. Okay, governance, risk, and compliance roles. These are not access control roles. These are the common GRC roles. Okay, so here by description itself, you can understand what's the importance of that role. Okay, whether it is an access control role or a process control role, also you can get that. So if you can see the first role, it is SAP GRC compliant user provisioning queries. Compliant user provisioning is nothing but, and the older version we used to call it as compliant user provisioning, but in the newer version we are calling it as access request management. So if you want to get access to access request management, you need to have that role. And the next one is risk analysis and remediation queries. Risk analysis and remediation is nothing but what? Risk analysis and remediation is nothing but the access risk analysis. What happened?
It changed back to the other screen.
Okay. So we have different roles, but remember two roles here. Okay.
Yeah, this is done.
Okay.
Activated
Okay.
with
We just activated ended with warning. We just have warning because we did it in expert mode, right? Because so many other guys has already did this. So there will be some warnings. That's it. But warning, you don't need to worry. If you get any red color mark like acted ended with issues, errors like that, you need to worry. But this is just a warning, so you need not to worry about it.
fine.
So now we have activated the normal R3 rulebook. So the remaining rulebooks you activate it. Okay. By tomorrow you have to finish only. Okay. So any one of you can do that.
Yeah, we'll do that.
So we have different roles, guys. So here the very important roles which you should assign to each and every user is, the first one is SAP GRC FN underscore all and SAP GRC FN underscore base. Okay, SAP GRC FN underscore all. This is a power user role. So this role should be assigned to GRC administrator. That means now we are going to create a user, right? So for that particular user, he should have access to SAP GRC FN underscore all, function all. So that means he will get complete access to SPRO transaction. If you have complete access to SPRO transaction, then only you'll be able to perform the customizations. So you should have access to that. So for administrators, please assign this role. For normal GRC business users, the second role, the third role, SAP GRC FN business user. So there is a business user role, right? So if any of the business user, if you want to create any of the business users, assign this role. If you assign this role, he'll not be able to log into backend system, but he'll be able to log into the front-end NWBC. You just need to provide him the link. So with the help of the link, he'll be able to log in and he can perform the tasks, whatever he is authorized to. So to execute that link and to see the start page of that link, he need to have access to GRC function business user role or GRC FN display. But business user role you should assign to business users. Display role you can assign to other colleagues, not business users. Like from our local users will be there, right? Who are the support users? For all security consultants, all you can give this role, business display role, GRC display.
Uh,
So the power user role, yeah, tell me.
hey, like just now we said like for the business users, we should give this business user role as well as FN underscore all also.
No. FN underscore all you should give only to the GRC administrator.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Then this business user should be given only this role.
Yeah, only with that role. And apart from that, I mean, if you want to use a firefighter ID, okay, you should assign a firefighter role. If you want to do a risk analysis, then you need to assign a risk analysis role. This role will help him to log into the front-end system. That's it. He can see the basic options in the front-end screen if you assign this role. But if you want to perform certain activities in the front-end screen, again you need to assign that particular role. I mean, if you want to work with risk analysis and remediation, that particular role you should assign to business user. If you want to work with emergency access management, I mean, he will not work with emergency access management. He will access some firefighter IDs. So in that case, you need to assign firefighter role to this particular business user.
Yeah.
Okay. But this is the base role. This is the base role, but every user should have access. Then only he'll be able to work with NWBC. This is not actually authorization role. Okay, this is a base role. Authorizations will be there in other roles. So whatever authorization he need, will be assigning that particular role.
So, but now there are activated state only, right? Or you want let us try something?
Yeah, just double click there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's activated. The authorization is in green color, right? So they might have activated it. Okay, come back. So if you want to check all the roles, whether all the roles are activated in the system or not, here you have to double click on each and every role. It will take some time. So if you want to check mass activation of roles, you have a transaction called, anyone knows that? I think Ganesh, we have discussed it.
Ah.
What is I did not remember that. Okay. So again,
SUPC.
very good. SUPC. Execute the transaction SUPC.
SUBC, right?
PP. Now you remember, na? Okay. So here, select the all roles button. All roles. Yeah. Just execute. Give star GRC. No. Star GRC star in the role tab. Execute. So here you can see the status. Okay. If that is in red, that means those roles are not generated. If that is in green, profile is generated. You can see the status text also. Profile generated, profile generated, profile generated, no authorization data, no authorization data. No authorization data means there is no authorization data in place in that particular role. So if you generate it also, it will be in red only. Those are some program roles which will be used for certain purposes. Okay. So if you want to generate that, you need to add one transaction and just generate it. That's it. So some of the roles are already generated, but some of the roles are not generated. But anyways, guys, in real time, see, this is this is a training system, so that's why I'm suggesting you to use the standard roles. But in real time, you'll not be using the standard roles. You will create separate roles. Okay, how will you create the separate roles? You will just copy the standard roles and you will create a new role. You know how to create a copy role? In PFCC, just give this role and click on copy button and give other role name and just create it. That's it. So whatever the important roles, whatever we are going to use, we'll be creating a copy roles and we'll use that. But if you want to create, I would suggest create it now and then we'll use the copy roles only. It will give you practice of creating copy roles also. You can do that. Otherwise, you can use the standard roles. Okay, most of the organizations, what they are doing is like they are just creating the copy roles and they are using it. They are not changing anything in the rules. I mean, as a GRC consultant, guys, you don't need to create any new roles or you don't need to change anything in the roles tab in roles. It's really not required because SAP has given all the roles with whatever authorization required. They have already updated in the roles. So you don't need to create any new roles. You just need to copy the existing roles. That's it. So this is where we can generate the multiple roles at a time. So if some of the roles are not generated, you can select all of them and click on generate button. Then the profile will be generated for all the roles. So now most of the roles which we need, all of them are already generated. So it's no point of doing it again. Okay. So now we'll create the one more role, guys. That is SAP GRC underscore NWBC. There is a role called SAP GRC underscore NWBC. Yeah, come down. Yes. Yeah. This role is also very important. You should assign this role to each and every user. Okay, this will give you the backend SAP screen. I mean NWBC screen. We have seen that, right? SAP Easy Access menu in the front end. I mean, this role will have transaction access, NWBC transaction access. If any of the user logged into backend system, if you want to go to front end system, he will execute a transaction NWBC. So this particular role will have that access and it will give you the front end screen. So for normally it's not required for business users. It will be needed only for the consultants, GRC consultants and security consultants, because normally we will not directly execute the link. We'll log into the backend system and we'll execute NWBC transaction. So I would suggest you can assign this role to users. Okay. So now this part is completed. The fifth step of fifth one. And the next one is creating a user, right? Just create a user. Go to SU01. Why we need to create a user means again because by using SAP star or DDIC will not be able to perform all the configurations. Okay, SAP star and DDIC, it's a program user. So that user will not have all the access and you will not be able to perform all kind of configurations. And you should not use that particular user to do any configurations in SPRO. That is what SAP is suggesting. So that's why you need to create an admin ID, okay, GRC admin. You need to assign all the configuration roles to this ID, and to configure access control or process control or risk management, you need to use this ID. Never use SAP star, because you will face a lot of issues. If you use SAP star, that SAP star will not have all the authorizations to perform the configurations. So it's of no use using SAP star. So create a user and assign all the authorizations to him and use that ID. So let's create GRC admin.
Where?
Create button. First one, yeah.
Oh, I have not given an yes.
No, this user is already existed. So you don't need to create him again. So what we will do for our security class, we'll create an admin, another ID, like suggest one name, we'll create that. Okay, DGP.
So that will be
DGP for Karnataka, na? Okay. So now what you can do is, we have already GRC admin created, right? So you just need to copy. Just click on copy button. Copy the last third one, yeah.
this.
Third one, yeah. Copy. Click there. So here from which user? From GRC admin user to DGP GRC admin. From GRC admin, yeah. So which all data we have to copy? We have to copy defaults, user parameters, reference, roles, authorization profiles, user groups, personalization, license data, SAP, easy access settings. Yeah, we can copy all of them. So just copy. Yeah, enter the password. So if you can see the user group is super. Is a dialog user. Enter any password and please remember that.
Yeah. So generally these guys using India 123, right?
Yeah, give that then.
Yeah.
Okay, then go to roles tab. See guys, they have assigned all GRC roles to this ID. Okay, because we'll be using this ID for different purposes in future. Like this ID will be role approver, this ID will be firefighter, this ID will be a controller, this ID will be owner. So many things, for so many different purposes we'll be using this ID. So what we are doing is, we are assigning all the roles to this IDs. But I will tell you what is the importance of role approval role, what is the importance of firefighter role and all. Okay, we'll come to that part later. So better assign all the roles to this ID. This is a training system, so you can do whatever you want. If you want to create separate IDs for approvers, separate IDs for controllers, separate IDs for monitors, you can do that. But normally, if you create one ID, it will be easy for us to remember the ID names. If you create multiple IDs, it will be difficult. So that's why we are just creating one ID and assigning all the roles to that. Okay. So in profiles, go to profiles. You can say SAP all and SAP new is already assigned to this ID. Apart from that, we have assigned SAP user underscore all, which is not at all required, but I don't know why they have assigned to this ID, which is not required, guys. And the remaining roles. The remaining profiles will come up once you have assigned any role in the roles tab. The profiles will be populated automatically, right? So these are the generated profiles.
Yeah.
So that's it. Just save it. Yeah. Next to that transaction field.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry? Sorry, again, I didn't get you.
I'm asking, what are the basic roles which the users should have if a user who wants to log into Firefighter, sorry, to GRC?
Okay,
basic
basic roles
roles.
I have already we have already discussed that, Jigyan. That is SAP GRC
And
underscore
WBC role.
NWBC and SAP GRC underscore business user role is there, right? For business users. So you
Okay.
are asking about the business users or you are asking about the admins?
Okay, based on that it will vary.
Yeah, correct. If you want to access the system as an admin, you need to assign that power user role and NWBC role. Okay, if you want to act as a business user, then you just assign that NWBC role and business user role. You have seen that, right? Business user role and NWBC and power user.
Yes. I think
So
I have
these are
seen
the
some regarding that function base and function business user. So
huh,
and SME can say WBC. So these are the three
yes.
basic roles.
Yes, yes. I mean the function is also should be present because that's what I'm telling. It will decide what kind of activities you are going to perform in GRC system. See, now we have not come to that part at all because there are so many activities that we have to discuss, like what role administrator will do, what kind of activities you will be performing in access risk management, access request management, and all right. Once after we have discussed that, I will tell you the importance of each and every role in the system. This is just we are creating a GRC admin to perform the configurations because we should not use SAP star anymore. So that's why we are just creating that. So that's why I have not gone in depth of each and every role there. Again, I have to discuss with you when I'm talking about the 4 tools. So that's why I have not gone in depth there. We'll discuss that part. But basically, if you want to create any user, the basic roles are like base role and the business user role and NWBC role. These 3 roles should be present. So if you go to adjust display the user ID, Ganesh, click on display button, the third button. Yeah, go to roles. See here, if you can see, the first one is SAP GRC access approver. So this is not at all required. Access request admin, this is not required. GRC access requester, this is not required. But the fourth role, SAP GRC all, this is required because now you will act as a GRC admin. So you need to have this role to perform the super admin activities for access control. Okay, and the next one, GRC control approver. This is not required. The purpose of control approver is to approve the mitigation controls. So if you want to use this user as a mitigation control approver, then only you will be needing this role. And the seventh one, that is SAP GRC display all, display access to all access control, then you would need this role. And reports, if you want to access all the reports, you need to have that role. And role management roles are there, super user management roles are there. So that's why I have not explained each and every role in depth, because whenever we are discussing about that particular topic, I will show you what are the important roles for this particular tool and what is the use of these tools. We'll discuss this at the time. And come down. Yeah, there is an important role called SAP GRC FN base. So that is, yeah, that is GRC base role to run GRC. This, what is the description? Can you show the description clearly? GRC base role in GRC applications. Base role to run GRC application. So if you want to work with a GRC application like NWBC, you need to have this role. Yeah. And the next one is business user. That base role you should not give it to business user, the first one. The second one, SAP GRC FN business user role, you can give it to the business users. And SAP GRC NWBC, this role, as I told you, if you want to access GRC system from the backend system, you need to use a transaction called NWBC. So this role will provide access to your NWBC transaction. Yes, come down. We'll see any other importance roles there. And there are repeated roles in place. Yeah, the last role, guys, that is a G underscore trusted. That is a trusted role. So that is helpful to connect with the backend system. That is a RFC role. Okay, this admin should have access to RFC role. Normally, other users, they don't require access to these RFC roles, but administrator should have access to RFC roles because he will be fetching data from different systems. He will access different systems and he will get the data from that systems into GRC system. So in that case, he should log into the other system to get that data. So RFC connection role should be present in admin user. So this RFC connection role.
Is there only the trusted RFC connection exist or normal RFC?
Normal RFC. Trusted RFC will not use for GRC systems. Trusted RFC will be used only for central user administration. For GRC systems, you need to create normal RFCs. Because if you use trusted RFCs, what will happen if the user left the organization, if the password locked, that's it. Then you lost the connection from these two systems. So we will not be using the trusted RFC connections. We'll be using only normal RFC connections. Okay, but they have named it as trusted. I don't know why, but this is a role, guys. Don't worry about the rules. User type I am talking about. User type should be normal RFC. User type should not be RFC type should be normal. RFC type should not be trusted. You don't need to worry about role types. Okay, when you are creating any RFC connections, it should be normal type. It should not be trusted type. If it is trusted type, it will ask your credentials to log into the system. Okay, Jagan?
Yeah. Is this a standard role? Z_trusted?
No, it's not the standard role.
So it has to be created, right? Or
no, normally this role will be available in the system. SAP_RFC, the standard role, that role should be available in the system. But sometimes what's happening, like the standard roles are not working correctly. I mean the authorization data that I have maintained in the roles, which is not supporting to connect to the backend system. So that case is what we are doing is we are creating a customized role by copying the standard roles and we are changing the authorizations in the role. Just double click on the role, Ganesh, a trusted role. Yeah, go to authorization data. See, this is created by ID admin. So this is a customized role. So just display the authorization data. No, here come down below. Yeah, that one. So expand the tree. Expand it. So you will and enable the technical names. Go to utilities.
Yes, sir.
Technical names on. Yes.
Yeah,
Now you can see. Yeah, this is the authorization object S_RFC, which should have star activities and FUGR as the RFC type. These are the two types, user types and function type. So this should be there. But normally, if you use the standard role, the activity they have maintained is at 16 and FUGR only. FUNC is not there. So that's why we are creating the this one customizing role. Normally, these customizing roles will help you when you are working with business role management. For other things, we have the common users. We'll use the background users. But for business role management, you will be creating the users directly in the backend system. So at cases, you need this role to be assigned to your ID. I will come to that part. But RFC role, it's always better. You create RFC role and assign this to your admin ID. Okay. Now, Jagan, you got what kind of roles an admin should need?
Yes, I got.
Okay. Good, yeah. You people are asking questions. Okay, that's what I'm expecting from you. Yeah, that means you are paying attention in the class only. If you are asking questions, means you are paying attention here. Okay. So this is it, guys. It's already 2 hours, and we'll stop it here. And tomorrow we'll discuss the other part. I mean, like there is only one step left. That is activating common workflow. So Ganesh, sir, you remember this ID of this user ID and password of this user, okay?
Yeah. Right down. Yes.
So tomorrow we'll see the workflow customizations, configure common workflows and all. And after that we'll start the access control pre-configuration steps, and we'll finish the access control pre-configurations tomorrow. Pre and post, both we'll finish tomorrow. Then from the next week onwards, we can start the tools, like configuring the uh, access risk analysis, emergency access management, like that. We'll see. One day, one tool. Okay, it will be mostly 6 to 7 classes. That's it. Everything will be finished.
Ganesh,
Oh,
created the Gmail account. Please reset the password and save the details to all of us in the WhatsApp group. We will share all the documents. Even I have a video recording. Share all the documents you are having.
Yeah, Jagan. So, actually, I forgot that password, so I will reset and I will send out a mail. I have your email ID, even Bhaskar sir's email ID I have, Krishna's email ID I have. So I'll send out the password and user ID to upload the documents there.
Okay.
okay. And Ganesh, I'll give you the. Oh, sorry. It's not possible to create a group again. Kya? We'll do one thing because Kamal is not available and we are not able to add these guys into a WhatsApp group.
We'll create.
We'll create a new group
Yeah, yeah.
and we'll add Bhaskar and Malini also to that group because then we can discuss.
Yes, sir. I'll do that.
That's it, because Kamal is not responding and he's the admin, so it's better if we create a new group.
Yeah. So I think Malini left.
Malini number, I'll forward it to you. Yeah, I'll give it to you. Malini number I'll give you so that you can add her. Maybe she is not there now. She left,
Yes,
I
yes.
think.
I have Bhaskar sir's number, even Jagan's number, your number. So I'll just create and add you also admin there so that in my options you can add and delete the people.
Yeah, that's
Okay?
fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay.
So, guys, this class is fine, or are you expecting anything else, like any documents or any other explanations you want, or is this way is fine?
This is fine. I would say.
Good. So, Bhaskar, it's clear, right, for you?
Yeah.
Okay. And Ganesh sir is always okay. So, okay. So, we'll meet tomorrow at the same time at 2 o'clock,
Yeah.
2 to 4. Hmm?
Yes,
So,
sir.
we'll finish off the pre and post configurations of access control. Then from next week, we'll see. And next week, I have 3 days holidays, so I will plan accordingly.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you, guys. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.
Hey, Jagan, I'll just half an hour. I'll send out that mail. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks all. Bye bye.